it's important is because we get distracted and we distract ourselves. We're our own worst enemy. Raise your hand if you've ever made a move against yourself. Be honest. Everybody, we all do it. And some of us do it in pattern behavior. Pattern behavior. My favorite book of all time is called Predictable Irrationality by Dan Ariely. And Dan says that we not only move against ourselves with regularity, we do it in patterns. Almost predictable, like clockwork. And that's stunning to me. It's actually very fascinating that we would move against ourselves. And so there was a guy by the name of Daniel Kahneman. He's a behavioral psychologist, and he discovered something called the cognitive biases. He won a Nobel Prize for his work. Anybody know the name Kahneman? He did a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. Not an easy read. But Kahneman discovers these cognitive biases. I'm just going to tell you about 3 of them today because they're in your head right now. You might as well get friends with them because these cognitive biases can be your best friends or your worst enemies. I'm just going to give you 3 of them. First one goes like this. First one is called Optimism Bias. Optimism Bias says that you're so optimistic 2019 is going to turn out great, you've already stopped trying. You're so positive that nothing bad's going to happen at your job, you're not even looking for any other new opportunities. You see how this could work against you? The second cognitive bias I want to share with you is called Pessimism Bias. It's the opposite. Pessimism Bias says, you're so sure 2019 is going to suck, you've given up already, and it's only January 2nd. What's up with that? Pessimism Bias says, there's no way we can grow this Rotary Club because people are losing interest in service. Young people are self-absorbed. You just tell yourself whatever you need to hear in order to be right. We all do this, right? And the third cognitive bias is my favorite. This one it's called blindside bias. Blindside bias. Now, I consult for a living. On my way back from this trip, I'm going to stop in Nashville. We drove down from Michigan. And on my way back, I'm going to stop in Nashville and do a gig for a small little insurance company called AIG. And talk about opportunity not being convenient. I'm going to speak to people in their Asian channel. So I had to learn a little bit of Mandarin to get the gig. And I had to learn the Mandarin before they paid me. It makes sense. If I want to be successful, I should learn how to speak people's language. English is their second language. But this is just commitment on my part, and it's recognizing that opportunity is seldom convenient. I'm going to stop at AIG on the way home and do that. But blindside bias, and when I do work for companies like AIG, I'm a consultant, and people pay me for my honest opinion about how to fix their stuff, right? We probably have consultants in the room. Anybody that fixes problems with people? Probably a few of you. And so what happens is, I'll tell them what's wrong, and then they'll say, I don't see it, you're fired. You understand how this works? If you're a consultant, you know our rule, right? Is every consultant eventually gets fired. It's absolutely true, right? So it's just part of the water we swim in. But I love that because you know people who, you know exactly what's wrong with them. Who's the guy that wants to be more organized? You. Everybody knows it. You're the last person to say, I need to get organized. They've been saying it for a long time. I'm just teasing. I don't know how bad your situation is. If somebody says, I need to dress better, and all your friends go, you could say that again, man. I've been thinking that for years. Like, we're the last person to know, right? And blindside bias says, even when somebody tells you your exact problem, you look at them and go, I don't see it. Therefore, you're wrong, right? And I'm right. And it's amazing. These are called cognitive biases. It's a thing. You can wiki it, man. Cognitive bias. All 100 of them come out. So it's pretty cool. And this is how we work against ourselves. Now, I'll give you some examples about how we work against ourselves in real life. Some of you will do this on the way back to the office from this meeting. Texting while driving. Stupidest thing you could ever do. Everybody knows it's a stupid-ass thing to do. And what do? You do it anyway. You even know that these guys, where'd they go? Where'd the coppers go? So I can speak freely. hours are gone, first thing they do when they stop you is dump your phone, man. It's evidential. Then the ticket goes up. So we know it's a stupid thing to do. We do it anyway, and we do it because we think we can beat the system. That's the thing. We think we can beat the system. And again, it's us working against ourselves.